This is the Convene podcast.
In this CL26 special, Devon Montgomery Pasha, an event MC, facilitator, and experienced engineer with over 20 years of experience, shares her vision for creating a dynamic digital experience for Convening Leaders 2026. As the founder of DMP Creative and the powerhouse behind the Spark methodology, Devon explains how storytelling, presence, activation, resonance, and kinetics can ignite creativity, foster connection, and deliver impact for the virtual audience at CL26. We start now. Hi, Devon, and welcome back to the Convene podcast.
Thanks, Maggie. I'm so excited to be chatting with you again.
As a digital experience host for CL26, what's your vision for creating a virtual environment that feels just as dynamic and impactful as being on site in Philadelphia?
I love that there is a vision for a digital experience. And my goal and what I'm seeing is to treat this digital experience as its own thoughtfully designed environment, not the secondary version of Philadelphia and not like a voyeur onto other people's in-person experience, but a parallel stage environment built with intention and creativity and built with heart to create an immersive experience for those who just can't be with us physically in Philadelphia.
I love built with heart. I love that.
Philadelphia is all about heart. Philadelphia is as a native Philadelphian, as a daughter, proud daughter of the city, there is so much heart in Philadelphia. It was the birthplace of our nation. It is the heartbeat of what keeps our story as a people going. And the fact that we're going to be there for the 70th anniversary of CL and the 250th anniversary of the city, it is all about heart and storytelling. And my goal with designing that digital environment is for you to feel that, as CL becomes, the beating heart of the beginning of our PCMA year.
What excites you most about stepping into the role of digital experience host, other than what you just mentioned?
I I love the idea of a digital experience host. I think it's innovative. It's important that just as it's important to have a host on your main stage, that MC, that connectivity, that bridge to the experience when everyone is in the same place and how important that role is in person, it's just as essential to have a digital host, a digital MC, because we are about the bridge. We are being the connection between the content that has been designed and the people who are absorbing it. So one of the things that excites me most about stepping into this role is to be that bridge, to be that connectivity. And CL is already such a transformative gathering. And the role of digital host allows me to welcome people into that energy, no matter where they are, no matter what time zone they're in. It's a chance to say, you belong here at CL in Philadelphia. You're included. You're a part of this community. Even if I can't physically reach out and hold your hand or welcome you, it's still that same essence and getting to shape their journey with them just in a digital environment.
And I wonder, your Spark methodology emphasizes empathy and creativity, and we've talked about it in a whole episode. So, how will those principles come to life for the digital participants?
Spark is really the foundation of how I try to do all things with the craft, whether it's in-person hosting, facilitating, digital experience. And for those who don't know, Spark is the methodology that I really live by. It stands for storytelling, presence, activation, resonance, and kinetics. But what that boils down to is how you can look at designing and empathizing and using creativity to create an experience that lasts. So when we think about storytelling, I want to look at how we're partnering with the PCMA digital team, the CNTV team to talk about all the stories that shape Philadelphia, that are shaping the CL experience, and that are going to be shaped on site. So how do I help create and connect that story? It's about presence. And when we think about digital experiences, we don't think about presence because most of the time we think about digital experience, it's almost like they're just a voyeur. They get to look in through a looking glass, through the peephole of the in-person experience, but bringing presence to the role of digital host and to engage and be that bridge in a digital experience will allow me to create a sense of energy and warmth that I bring to any stage because the connection doesn't rely on physical proximity. When we think about activation, we all know that one of the best things about being on site is being activated and seeing what our sponsors are bringing into hotels and the locations and going through those marketplaces and touching and tasting and smelling. And that is where we feel activated. But where can we bring that activation and that same sense of awe and wonder to a digital stage? So my goal is to really look for and work with all of our partners to spark that activation and to bring that behind the scenes connectivity and create those moments for our digital audience. When we think about resonance, resonance is where memories lie. And just because we're in a digital environment doesn't mean that our creativity and empathy can't create resonant moments that stick and become a unique experience that they had as part of our digital audience. So if that's highlights from our fantastic keynotes, and if you haven't had a chance to look at the keynote lineup, run now. Don't stop. The keynote lineup is absolutely insane, or introducing sessions. We know that one of the best valuable moments of these convening leaders at EduCon is education, is upskilling, it's thought leadership, it's opportunities to change our perspective. So how can I bridge to those moments that anchor and create some resonance for our digital family? And the last one is kinetics. Now, everyone would think this is the hardest one to do, this idea of movement and energy through a digital audience. But I don't believe that to be true. I think one of the best challenges as an event designer and as an engager is to look at how you can bring pacing and tone and transitions and energy that makes someone in a digital environment feel like they're just as energized, like they have been moving. And it can be something as simple as standing up while you're interviewing someone and shaking a hand, or showing people walking behind you, making sure that we're showing you the movement and vibrancy of Philadelphia, even in the middle of January. Those moments and that idea of energy can bring that sense of presence and that memory of movement and energy to a digital audience.
As a podcast host, I can add here that just sometimes the energy of the person that you're listening to or watching can just take over you, and you'd be like, yeah, wow, I want to do, I want to be active, I want to implement everything that I heard. So it's definitely possible online. Speaking about that, networking is a big one, and we
Networking.
all know that this is mostly seen as an in-person advantage. So how will the digital platform foster meaningful connections among participants across the globe?
We're working really closely with the entire PCMA family through the social experience, through our CNTV, with you at Convene, with all of the educators on site, with all of our sponsor programs, and looking for ways to make sure that the digital experience supports connection to PCMA, to the academy, supports connection to each other. And we're really looking at as many tools as we have and putting them together in all the different ways that we can to look at ways to support shared learning moments, to do guided reflections, especially after our main stage moments, to look at behind the scenes storytelling so that you feel connected both to PCMA, but find also meaningful ways for you to connect to others through the app where you can network and create connections. So there's more than one way to skin that cat, and we're really using all of our empathetic, creative, strategic brains to figure out just how many we can design into the digital experience to ensure that our participants, no matter where they are on the globe, can feel meaningfully connected both to PCMA and to each other.
And it won't be just viewing sessions together
No,
online.
it's not just viewing sessions. Again, and that's so important to me as a digital host. Like I said, is that bridge, this idea of resonance and kinetics and activation. It's so important that our participants don't sign on to listen to something and check their email halfway through, that they don't just think that, well, I'm not important. And that's really the core message of being a digital host and creating meaningfully designing a digital experience is to ensure that when you take your hard-earned money and your hard-earned time and you invest it in the digital convening leaders experience, it's not to just look through the looking glass and the people of other people's experience. It's to have your own bespoke, curated experience. And that is my goal. That is why we're working so hard together. That is why I'm so glad you and I are talking. It's to ensure that there are shared moments for the digital community, so much so that you feel like you got an experience that was just yours and it's not less than anyone who was in person. Maybe you put on a Pitbull playlist at the end of Tuesday night and you bring, your own glass of wine wherever you are in the world and you have your own Pitbull dance party and you record yourself and we share a digital dance party, where it's like you learn something in a digital experience and you want to share that one piece of knowledge with someone else. That is what we're talking about, is the idea that you are so valuable wherever you are sitting in the world, and that this experience is being designed to give you value and to thank you for trusting us with your time and attention and energy, and spending as much time designing that experience as we are designing your main stage experience, designing the activations in the marketplace, or designing the content that you'll get throughout the educational sessions.
For planners still deciding whether to register digitally, what would you say is the biggest reason they shouldn't miss this opportunity in case they need one more?
If they need one more, well, as a personal reason, you don't want to miss a digital experience in the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection, because it's going to be amazing. And that's just me being a proud Philadelphia girl. And of course, seeing all the behind the scene things and hearing all the stories from this most excellent city. Bias aside, if you're still thinking about registering digitally, if you can't make it in person, if that's just not part of your journey for 2026, and we all get it, time and intention is precious. And, you know, starting the new year with travel can sometimes be something we're not ready to do. But what I would ask is, what are you committing to yourself in 2026? For the planners, not for your job, but what are you committing to for you? What does what does 2026 look like for you? And I think a lot of us start a new year thinking, I want to grow. I want to I want to add something to my own toolbox. And again, I don't want to learn something for the sake of my business, but I want to learn something for me. And I would ask you to think about that question and then look at the amazing content digitally, in person, our keynotes alone. What value would it be to you to start your year energized, to start your year engaged, to start your year creatively inspired? I mean, Adam Grant alone, to hear him talk, to start your year feeling that sort of level of introspective inspiration can really set you off on this foot of every other thing that you plan that year can be colored with the inspiration you get through just one keynote, can be colored with the education you get from one digital course, can be can be inspired and thrust into the year with such energy because you invested in yourself. And when you invest in yourself, you get to take what you make of that. So I would ask, what do you want 2026 to look like? And whether you attend in person or whether you attend digitally for Conveners 2026, this is where our industry is going to start the year. It's where we're going to learn. It's where we're going to evolve. It's where we're going to set the first brick on the yellow brick road to our success. And whatever that looks like for you, I feel strongly that starting your year with us will definitely start you off on the right foot.
I love it, especially the message about hidden potential because right at the beginning of the year has all the potential that you
All the
can imagine.
potential in the world, yeah, and, we all know you could buy the gym membership that you'll look forward to using, and you'll buy the sneakers and you'll use them once, or you invest in a digital experience, you wear your PJs, you're comfortable, and you still get the same amount of inspiration, education, creativity, connection, you know, without ever having to leave the comfort of your home. But you can take that in that moment and add it to your toolbox and say, well, I know I can make 2026 whatever I want it to be. And there's no way that the digital experience for convening leaders will hurt me in any way. It can only help. So I would say instead of making the gym membership, why not just join us for a digital experience? And hey, if you walk around the block twice in between sessions, you're still getting the same amount of value.
That's awesome. Was there anything we didn't mention we definitely should before we wrap up?
All I would say is that we really are doing so much more than you've seen with a digital experience in the past. Our goal was to not to do something the way we've always done it. Our goal is to break that cycle and say, since the last time we changed it. So PCMA is committed to not doing something the same way twice. And as a designer and a strategist, I can honestly say how refreshing it is to see someone putting their money where their mouth is and saying, okay, what can we change? What are we willing to take a risk on and make a change for and assess? So I'm very excited to be a part of the first drop in the bucket of change for the digital experience. So it will look different than you've seen it in the past. Trust us to take that step. And it might not be radically different. We're not blowing it up and starting from scratch, but we are committed to making change and taking steps towards change. And I love that I get to be a part of that. So come and see what's different and then tell us how you liked it.
Devon, I think your energy is just perfect for the job of a digital experience host. So I'm super excited to have you on board this year. And
Thanks, Maggie.
thank you so much for being once more on the Convene podcast.
And I will see you in Philadelphia.
Yeah, for sure. Remember to subscribe to the Convene podcast on your favorite listening platform to stay updated with our latest episodes. For further industry insights from the Convene team, head over to pcma.org/convene. My name is Maggie. Stay inspired, keep inspiring, and until next time.